Craig Wright is at it again, and this time he's made a submission to the CFTC that he's willing to testify under oath that he created Bitcoin under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. Tonight I've got Craig Wright live from London. Craig, I'm looking at the submission that you made to the CFTC where you claim that you're willing to testify under oath that you created Bitcoin under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. What is this submission actually about?
Basically, the submission is the Commission wanting information about how blockchains work. In particular, it's really focused on Ethereum, but it also goes into a little bit of detail about other blockchains.
And Craig, why did you feel as part of the submission that you needed to add in the part where you created Bitcoin under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto?
Because if I'm going to go in there and give them truth, I'm giving them truth. So,
Craig, as far as I understand, the CFTC don't really take testimony under oath. They're not a court. They don't really take testimony under oath.
That's actually incorrect, and every submission is considered under oath. So just by putting that is actually under oath. Do we want to move on from this, or do I end it now?
Okay, hold on. Do you not want to talk about the submission?
Do you want to talk about the submission, or do you want to talk about that one little bit? I've already discussed this. You say it once more, it's over. Okay? That's it. I don't give a shit about your thing. I don't care about being on media, okay? You've mentioned that one more time, I just click end. The end.
Okay, then let's talk specifically around the submission. What are the contents of the submission?
So basically it's describing what blockchains are and how they work. Now, this is an area that a lot of people want to try and confuse people with, because the whole ICO world is really a scam world. It's bringing back the Usenets and penny stock scams that were there in the 80s and 90s in a new format. Now, this is all these things are doing. New coins, new ICOs are pure scams. Not one of them has ever created anything. They are purely a way of getting around the controls that stop people from scamming others, enabling people to take money, do nothing, and not return a cent. That's all these are, and they have to end.
Okay, so on that point, I'm going to challenge you specifically around an Ethereum type token. These tokens are specifically tokens that are used for transactions to power some kind of supercomputing mechanism. Are you saying that these are frauds?
There is no such thing as a token for a supercomputing mechanism. That's a scam and a lie. There isn't one. There is not one token that gives you a single compute cycle for less than 1 million times the cost of something now. You would actually be more efficient to buy a Raspberry Pi than you would be to buy $1,000 worth of compute cycle on Ethereum.
Craig, are you saying that as the self-proclaimed creator of the blockchain, that the only use for the blockchain is for the transfer of value, like we use it with Bitcoin or Bitcoin SV?
Yes, there can only be one blockchain. This is the whole nature of it. If you have various competing systems, the power is competing for the same thing. So either one survives or all collapse. There is no middle ground here. It's a protocol. So you either have one or nothing. Now, the value exchange that we're talking about is really selling compute cycles and settling things. The blockchain is effectively an engine that satisfies what the BIS does, what some of the clearing houses do. It doesn't replace banks. It doesn't do any of this decentralized crap, because quite frankly, decentralized, well, what does that mean? It's thrown out there as this nebulous word that is a circular argument. It's decentralized. Why? Because lots of people use it. What's that mean? It's decentralized. That is idiocracy squared. Now, what you're really talking about is we have competing groups and companies. And these competing companies actually act as a distributed clearinghouse. And Bitcoin then solves the double spending problem. It's not more anonymous. In fact, after eCash, there were 20 or so different formats of electronic cash that were all way more anonymous than eCash, and eCash was anonymous, far more than Zcash or Monero. So one of the things I've been working on that I'm going to be releasing later this year first to people like law enforcement and then to others, will be how to kill Zcash, how to kill Monero, etc. If you have a privacy coin, I will show you that it is basically as private as running through Times Square with your pants around